There's an Ethereum documentary in the works, and the production team is looking for ETH donations to fund it. So the documentary is called Ethereum, the Infinite Garden. It's going to feature Vitalik and various others involved in development of Ethereum. And the company is crowdfunding. So they want to raise 750 ETH, which is around $1.5 million. And this, as of this morning, they've raised 342. So I'm going to kick this down to you, Will. This is the first documentary, I believe, that is being made on ETH. What do you think of this?
It's a very Ethereum thing to ask for free money to build something. I think in general, though, looking at other cryptocurrency movies, it's true. Other cryptocurrency movies to date have just been atrocious. So I hope they take this in a different direction. I think that they should really make it a documentary, because Vitalik's super interesting and the people involved in the project are super interesting. And I think 10 years from now, that'd be pretty cool to kind of look back and see Mr. Buterin doing his thing right now. And there's been some really good books coming out this year, like The Infinite Machine as well. And those have really captured kind of the Ethereum moment, I think, very clearly. And so hopefully this can kind of add to that. But yeah, I don't have many thoughts besides that. We'll see how Vitalik does on camera.
Yeah, I'll take a hack at it. Yeah, definitely a documentary project. Vitalik, definitely a very compelling character. I really enjoy watching Vitalik on camera. I think you're going to see more of these Vitalik-in-public moments as Ethereum looks to kind of step into its mainstream moment. And this, to me, is going to be one of a couple that you might see where Vitalik is getting out ahead of this thing and explaining, again, the big ideas that are behind Ethereum, that have animated much of its development over the last 4, 5, 6 years. So interesting to see this coming together. Yeah, amazing that they've been able to find so much support in such short order. But interesting to see that they should do some crazy yield farming thing. There is a participatory aspect, I guess. If you're a contributor, you sort of get a credit. I don't know if that entitles you to creative decisions, but you are involved in the project somehow.
It's an executive producer credit, so usually that would mean no creative involvement. But you also get an NFT, depending on how much you have contributed to the crowdsourcing. I know the NFTs look pretty cool.
What's up?
Just jump in. I think as ETH2 gets closer, you could see Vitalik moving into the spotlight a little bit more. Typically, he's been a pretty public figure. He's very active Twitter account. And it's not too hard to interview him if you can kind of schedule ahead of times. But overall, I think he's less out there than some other people. And maybe he'll come on the show. Control wants him in.
We'll get him.
But I think as ETH2 gets closer and he's doing less math and less cryptography, you might see old VB rolling around a little bit more.
Will, didn't you interview him at East Denver one time? Is that true?
Did. That was a little.
There you go.
Cold action. Just walked up to him and said, "Hey, come talk with me."
Nice. Attaboy. Atta kid.
I will say, I want to see more of these, well, you were kind of referencing this, the flops that some of these, previous kind of crypto movies have been.
Bad.
For feature films, so bad. Absolute garbage. But, documentaries, you're trying to do it a little better. I really hope this one, I really hope this one, walks the line of recognizing that crypto is not a panacea, right? And recognizing the limits and sort of pitfalls and everything else that goes with it, and does a good job of laying out we talk about these things as being decentralized and being devoid of you don't rely on a middleman or an intermediary, yet we do have figureheads in these sorts of things and people in pole position to move markets or make statements. Vitalik being one of those, though he's really shied away from taking a more assertive, active market moving approach as some other people. And so I really hope that this documentary gets into the nuance of it. I know previous ones I've seen have been sort of this is a silver bullet, this is forward, full tilt, and I think that we're far from that being the actual case.
I'm pretty excited about the documentary.
I hope that Ben blurb ends up in the documentary, because that would be tight.